Alright, so I've been waiting years for this mouse. Literally, ever since the MX Master 3 came out, I've been itching for Logitech to take it a step further. Something sleeker, smarter, and more intuitive for creatives and professionals. But after using it for some time, I've got to be honest, it's a mix of brilliance and frustration. So in this video, I'll break down the good and the bad and whether or not this $120 productivity mouse actually deserves a spot on your desk. Let's get into it. Right away, you can tell that Logitech knows what they're doing when it comes to ergonomics. The shape of the MX Master 4 feels molded perfectly for the hand. It has the same sculpted comfort the lineup is actually famous for. Your palm rests naturally, your thumb slides into place, and it feels just right. The material has changed slightly, and Logitech has moved away from the soft rubber finish of the 3S, which used to yellow and wear down over time, and replaced it with a smoother, more durable plastic. It feels premium, clean, and less prone to grime buildup. But here's something I noticed after long sessions. This mouse is a little bit heavier than the original MX Master 3. The MX Master 4 weighs around 150 grams, whereas the MX Master 3 weighs approximately 141 grams. And while that's not necessarily a bad thing, it does feel a little bit more front-loaded, meaning the weight leans toward the scroll wheel area. If you lift your mouse a lot while you're working, you'll definitely notice the difference. When I'm editing photos and videos for hours, I start to feel it. But maybe that's just honestly a me thing. For me, it's still one of the most comfortable mice I've ever used, but it's not exactly light and agile. It's made for anchored productivity, not constant flicks and movement. Oh, and speaking of clicks, Logitech has gone pretty quiet again. The main buttons are super soft, almost rubber dome quiet. Perfect for office environments or late night work sessions when you don't want to sound like you're typing on a mechanical keyboard. Now, here's the comparison from the MX3 versus the MX4. Now, let's talk about features, because this is where Logitech tried to innovate. The MX Master 4 introduces a new control dial and a haptic feedback system. And honestly, this is the part that impressed me the most. The control dial lets you assign quick shortcuts or macros to a gesture. For example, I can click down a button and bring up the radial menu that triggers actions like copy or paste, play or play. I could take screenshots. I could even launch tools like ChatGPT, Copilot, or Gemini. And the haptic feedback, you actually feel tiny vibrations or clicks when you move through your shortcuts. It's subtle, but satisfying, almost like the haptics on an iPhone trackpad. Now, I will say, during long sessions, this vibration can get a little distracting. So I really just brought it to a minimum vibration, but I'm not gonna lie, I just turned it off completely. The thumb scroll has also been improved. It's slightly bigger and more tactile. It's great for horizontal scrolling in timelines, spreadsheets, or long documents. And that main scroll wheel, it still has Logitech's famous Smart Shift. If you scroll slowly, it clicks precisely line by line. If you want to scroll a little faster, it automatically switches into a free spin mode for blazing fast navigation. It's smooth, it's silent, and it's still the best in the business in my opinion. And don't forget, everything's customizable through Logitech's Logi Options Plus app. And that's where the first cracks start to show. The software experience, especially on Mac, is a little rough. Options Plus is powerful when it works, but it's finicky. Sometimes it doesn't recognize certain apps, sometimes it fails to apply shortcuts until you restart it. And to make things a little worse, you actually have to log into a Logitech account just to unlock the customization features. That's right, you can't even use the mouse to its full potential until you sign in. There's also no onboard memory, meaning your custom profiles don't travel with you to another computer. So if you're switching between a laptop or a desktop, get ready to reconfigure. I really wish that Logitech would clean this up. This hardware is premium, but the software feels like a beta product still finding its footing. The MX Master 4 connects via Bluetooth or the included USB dongle. And while that's nice, it doesn't support 2.4 gigahertz low latency mode or a wired connection. And for some reason, Logitech didn't include a USB-C cable in the box. You're paying $120 and you don't even get a charging cable. That feels like a step too far for a premium product. And I get that Logitech is trying to get rid of some e-waste. However, don't forget that you're paying $120 for this product. And mind you, I'm fine with products not having a charging brick, but let's keep those premium charging cables in the bag, please. Now, in terms of performance, the polling rate tops out around 125 to 140 hertz. Now, this is great for office and creative work, browsing, editing, spreadsheets, you name it. But if you're thinking about gaming with this mouse, don't. But that's the thing, this isn't a gaming mouse. It's simply not built for that kind of responsiveness. I would call this mouse a precision workhorse, not a performance machine. Battery life though, it's still exceptional. You'll easily get weeks on a single charge, even with the haptics turned on. And let's get back to that USB-C dongle. I low-key wish that this dongle had a port on the side of the mouse to store, but real talk, I could lose this thing easily if I'm traveling with it. Now, you can plug it into the USB-C, however, I don't know if this is an intended feature or it's just an incidental finding. Here's the bottom line. At $120, the Logitech MX Master 4 is a great productivity mouse, but it's not a great upgrade. If you already own the MX Master 3S or the 3, just save your money. You're getting almost the same exact experience minus the new haptics and that extra side button. And even if you don't own a Master 3 yet, the 3S is still available for around $80 and it offers 95% of the same functionality with fewer bugs and quirks. So this is the MX4 and this is the MX3S. And truly, the MX4 really only has one extra button versus the MX3S. So let's just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you could also do some gestures in which you hold this top button down and you could have 9, 10, 11, 12, right? Whereas the 3S, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now, truly, is it worth the extra price for that extra button with the extra feedback? It's truly up to you how much haptic feedback really matters. Back to the video. And that new action ring, it's still available on the old MX Master 3 and the 3S. You just lose out on the haptic feedback, if that's the thing you really care about. That said, if you value comfort, control, and long-lasting battery life, and you're just a fan of having the latest and the greatest, then the MX Master 4 still feels like the gold standard for pure productivity. Just know that the software still needs work, and at this price point, Logitech really should have done more to refine the user experience. So is the MX Master 4 worth it? If you live in apps like Photoshop, Premiere, DaVinci, or Excel, and you want the latest and the greatest, absolutely. But if you were hoping for a revolutionary upgrade, you might want to wait for like the MX Master 5 or something. I don't know. What do you think? Have you tried this mouse yet? Drop your thoughts in the comments down below. I'd love to hear if your experience matches mine. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more deep dive reviews, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.